What's hiding beneath Egypt's ancient sands? A world of mystery and wonder, waiting to be uncovered.
Archaeologists and Egyptologists claim that they were tombs for the pharaohs, and yet no Egyptian pharaoh was ever found in a pyramid in Egypt.
From bizarre artifacts to mind-boggling discoveries, this legendary land has secrets that continue to captivate. Here are 20 of the strangest things unearthed in Egypt recently. Tomb of the Pyramid Builders. In 2010, a remarkable discovery in Giza shook the world of Egyptology to its core. New tombs were uncovered near the Great Pyramids, and they weren't what anyone expected. These weren't the tombs of kings or priests, but the final resting places of the workers who built the pyramids. And here's the kicker. These workers weren't slaves. According to a chief archaeologist, the tombs belonged to laborers who, far from being enslaved, seemed to have held a certain status. After all, if they were mere slaves, they wouldn't have been buried so close to the pharaoh's eternal resting place. Makes sense, right? But hold on, does this single discovery really flip the script on everything we've been told about the pyramids? Well, not so fast. This theory didn't spring up overnight. In fact, the first of these worker tombs was actually found in 1990. And in the quirkiest way possible. A horse stumbled over it. Yes, literally tripped over history. Yet, it took decades of research and piecing together evidence for this alternative narrative to even begin taking shape. Meanwhile, Hollywood kept churning out epic tales of enslaved masses toiling under the sun, and school textbooks continued preaching the same old story. Here's the thing, history isn't set in stone, even if we're talking about massive stone pyramids. So much of what we know about ancient civilizations depends on interpretations that can shift with every new discovery. Changing a narrative this ingrained, that's not going to happen just because one archaeologist stands in front of a camera and calls it groundbreaking. Screaming mummy. Here's something to stop you in your tracks. A mummy's face, forever frozen in a scream. If that doesn't send a chill down your spine, let me make it worse. This isn't just any mummy. It's Meritamen, discovered at Deir el-Bahari alongside another preserved body. And that haunting expression, it might tell a tragic, eerie story. Researchers believe Meritamen died of a massive heart attack. Here's the grim twist. CT scans of her remains revealed her blood vessels were clogged with fatty plaque deposits, a classic recipe for cardiac disaster. What's more, it's speculated she was alone when it happened. Hours passed before she was found, and by then, rigor mortis had locked her face in that horrifying scream. When the mummification process began, it preserved her expression for eternity. A moment of pain, fear, or perhaps shock etched permanently onto her face. Chilling, right? It's as if she's screaming across time, a ghostly reminder of the fragility of life and the mysteries locked in death. 30 ancient wooden coffins. Brace yourself. This is a tale of ancient secrets, extraordinary discoveries, and a whole lot of mummies. Back in 2019, archaeologists in Luxor uncovered what can only be described as the ultimate coffin jackpot, a treasure trove packed with beautifully preserved mummies. And here's the wild part, it feels like every other week someone stumbles upon yet another hidden cache of ancient remains. Seriously, ancient Egypt seems to have a mummy stash on every corner. This particular find, a party pack of coffins, came to light after years of excavations led by foreign teams. But when Egypt's chief archaeologist took over the dig, things got seriously interesting. The earth seemed ready to reveal its secrets and outpoured this incredible collection of mummies, like a never-ending historical unboxing event. What's especially fascinating, these mummies offer rare clues about how ancient Egyptians prepared their dead for the afterlife. For instance, it turns out that the position of the hands wasn't just random. Women were often placed with open hands, while men had their hands clenched into fists, perhaps in case they needed to throw down in the afterlife's version of Fight Club. Queen Nefertiti's mummy. Let me tell you a story that has all the drama of a blockbuster mystery. Back in the early fall of 2022, an esteemed Egyptologist made a jaw-dropping claim. They'd found the mummy of Queen Nefertiti. Yes, that Nefertiti, the legendary beauty and co-ruler of ancient Egypt, whose final resting place had been one of archaeology's greatest unsolved puzzles. But here's the kicker. This wasn't some overnight discovery. The expert and their team had been hunting for answers since 2017, diving into dusty tombs and unraveling ancient clues. Now they were saying they'd cracked it. Where? How? Why do they believe it's her? They promised all would be revealed eventually. Sounds thrilling, right? Or maybe it's just a sprinkle of hype. Let's not forget, the Egyptian Ministry of Tourism loves to stir excitement around new discoveries. After all, what better way to reignite the world's fascination with Egypt's ancient wonders and lure tourists back to its historic sands? A big find like this could set the archaeological world and social media on fire. So is it a groundbreaking revelation or a clever PR stunt? But one thing's for sure, whether you're a skeptic or a dreamer, there's something undeniably captivating about the allure of ancient mysteries waiting to be solved. Mummified lion cubs. Saqqara, one of Egypt's most fascinating ancient sites, isn't just home to mummified humans, although the burial ground for the ancient city of Memphis certainly holds its share of those. What makes Saqqara truly astonishing is its collection of mummified animals, particularly cats. And not just your average house cats. Everything from domestic felines to lions have been found here. Why cats, you ask? To the ancient Egyptians, cats weren't just pets. They were sacred, revered as symbols of protection and close to the gods. But it didn't stop with cats. Crocodiles, cobras, birds, you name it, were also carefully mummified and buried, signaling their divine importance. Among these discoveries, 2 mummified lion cubs stood out. Intact and rare, they're among the few of their kind ever unearthed, hinting at the unique role lions might have played in Egyptian spiritual life. Stone coffins in Saqqara. Saqqara isn't just a dusty corner of Egypt, it's the ultimate backstage pass to the ancient world. A sprawling necropolis brimming with treasures from humanity's earliest days. This city of the dead has earned its nickname, not just for the sheer number of mummies it holds, but for the jaw-dropping artifacts buried alongside them. The ancient Egyptians believed in sending their dearly departed into the afterlife with all the comforts they could muster. Food, tools, and even a few decorative knickknacks. Lucky for us, their afterlife prep has left modern archaeologists with a treasure chest of insights into life, death, and everything in between. Now, let's talk about one of Saqqara's most exciting finds. 5 tombs dating back to around 2700 BC. Experts think these elaborate burial sites belong to high-ranking officials from Egypt's Old Kingdom and the First Intermediate Period. And these aren't your run-of-the-mill ancient graves. These tombs are a feast for the eyes, painted with stunningly intricate designs that have somehow survived millennia in the desert's unforgiving embrace. What did they find inside? Oh, just the usual VIP package of the dead. Wooden and stone coffins, statues, pottery, and a trove of objects fit for a journey to eternity. Each piece whispers stories of a long-lost civilization, giving us a window into how the ancients lived, how they died, and how they hope to keep on living. Saqqara, once again, proves it's not just history. It's a gateway to the soul of an ancient world. Mummies in Minya. Mummies are fascinating, aren't they? After all, who wouldn't be intrigued by them? But here's the catch. In Egypt, discovering mummified remains isn't exactly headline news. It's practically tradition. The ancient Egyptians were masters of preserving their dead, leaving the desert landscapes of the country dotted with burial sites. Now, fast forward to today. In Minya, a province south of Cairo, archaeologists have struck gold, or rather a treasure trove of history. They've uncovered a series of burial chambers packed with at least 40 mummies. And these aren't just random individuals. Experts believe these tombs likely belong to a family that lived during the Ptolemaic or early Roman Byzantine period. What's especially cool, these tombs are cut directly into the rock, showcasing the craftsmanship of the time. Inside, the mummies span all ages, children, adults, and elders, giving us a rare glimpse into the family dynamics of ancient civilizations. Secret chamber in the Great Pyramid. Giza's Great Pyramid, the iconic masterpiece of ancient Egypt, continues to baffle and captivate us thousands of years after its creation. Known as the Pyramid of Khufu, it's more than just a symbol of grandeur. This colossal structure is packed with secrets that modern technology is only beginning to uncover. Here's the kicker: scientists recently discovered a massive hidden void inside the pyramid. That's right, a concealed chamber, about 100 feet long, that's been hiding in plain sight for over 4,500 years. What's inside it? Nobody knows. And the mystery only deepens. This discovery wasn't made by accident. Cutting-edge scanning technology, capable of peering beneath the pyramid's surface, revealed the enigmatic space. Unlike the old days when researchers had to rely on theories and physical exploration, today's advanced scanners can map out the pyramid's interior without ever moving a single stone. But here's the twist. Even with all our tech wizardry, scientists can't yet agree on what this void was for. They hesitate to call it a room, as its purpose remains unknown. Some speculate it could have been a secret burial chamber for Pharaoh Khufu himself. Others think it might have been part of the engineering genius that made building the pyramid possible. Was it a load-relieving structure, a hidden treasure room, or something we can't even imagine? Now, here's the big question. Should we try to get inside? Is it worth risking the structural integrity of one of humanity's greatest architectural feats to uncover its secrets? What do you think? Is the void calling for a closer look, or should we let this ancient mystery lie? The Lost Golden City. Prepare for a discovery unlike any other. This hidden tomb has been concealed for nearly 3,000 years. We're talking about an entire ancient city that was once as golden as Egypt's legendary pharaohs. You know how every time something new is unearthed in Egypt, people rush to call it the biggest find since King Tut's tomb? Well, this time, they might actually be onto something. Back in September 2020, a team of archaeologists began digging near the temples of Amenhotep III and Ramses III, about 300 miles south of Cairo. It didn't take long for them to start uncovering the remains of something extraordinary. Brick buildings stretching in all directions, like the bones of a lost metropolis. What they were unearthing turned out to be nothing less than the largest ancient city ever found in Egypt. This bustling hub had flourished during the reigns of Amenhotep III and Tutankhamun, only to be swallowed up by the sands of time. This city is a true treasure from Egypt's golden age, offering a glimpse into a world of wealth and power. So far, the dig has revealed an incredible array of artifacts, from colorful pottery to jewelry, mud bricks bearing the seal of Amenhotep III, and scarab beetle amulets. As the team continue to excavate over the next several months, you won't believe what archaeologists have uncovered after 7 months of digging. Amidst the ruins, they've found neighborhoods frozen in time and even a bakery where the pots and ovens are still perfectly in place. But the real excitement, the discovery of scarab beetle amulets that add a mysterious layer to this ancient city's story. As the excavation continues, the site keeps revealing new secrets, shedding light on what life may have been like over 3,000 years ago. An ancient brewery. Who knew the ancient Egyptians were such big fans of beer? Well, it turns out they might have been serious boozers. In a fascinating discovery, archaeologists have uncovered a 5,000-year-old brewery at Abydos, just east of the Temple of King Nama. This site is believed to be the oldest large-scale brewery in the world. Yep, 5,000 years old. So why were the Egyptians brewing so much beer, and how were they pulling it off? Using cutting-edge magnetic survey tools, the archaeologists are uncovering some pretty wild details. From what they've found so far, this brewery wasn't small potatoes. The scale is huge, with massive pottery vessels and complex structures that suggest they were brewing beer in enormous quantities. In fact, it's estimated that this ancient brewery could churn out over 20,000 liters of beer per batch. To put that in perspective, that's enough beer to give every single person in a 40,000-seat stadium a pint of beer. Talk about a party. So what was the deal with all this beer? Looks like the ancient Egyptians knew how to throw a good time. And maybe even a little bit of a celebration. Roman mummy in the oasis. In 2010, a routine archaeological dig at an oasis uncovered something chilling. The first Roman-era mummy ever found in the area. This wasn't just any mummy. Inside a carved plaster sarcophagus from the Greco-Roman period lay the body of a woman, dressed in a long tunic, headscarf, and adorned with a bracelet, a brightly colored necklace, and even a pair of shoes. But it's what was inside her eyes that really sends a shiver down your spine. 2 colored stones, placed to make it seem as though she was awake. Creepy, right? As archaeologists dug deeper into the tomb, they also found coins, which helped them date the burial to a specific time in history. Nearby, there were 13 other graves, but none were as complete or as revealing as this one. This particular tomb stood out for its rarity. It was the first of its kind to be discovered in the region, offering valuable insights into the ancient world that had previously been unknown. But despite its importance, don't expect it to have caused a worldwide stir. After all, it wasn't exactly a golden treasure chest. Still, this mummy was a significant piece of history, a glimpse into a past that might have remained hidden forever. Mysterious Black Tomb. A team of archaeologists in Egypt made a spine-tingling discovery in 2018. A mysterious black granite sarcophagus, unlike any they'd ever seen before. The discovery was strange enough to make even the most seasoned researchers uneasy. You know that fear of ancient curses? Yeah, that was definitely in the air. It's practically a given whenever a tomb is opened, but add to that the fact that Egypt's history is filled with dark myths and deadly secrets, and you can see why they were nervous. But the real horror came when they cracked open this eerie black coffin. Instead of uncovering a long-lost royal tomb, maybe even that of Alexander the Great, which they had secretly hoped for, they were greeted by a smell so foul it could make you gag. It was bad. Really bad. Sure, it's a tomb, so a bit of a stench is expected, but this was next level. What they found inside wasn't the treasure-filled resting place of a king. It was 3 skeletons and a disgusting puddle of brown sewage water. No, seriously gross. They didn't unleash an ancient curse, but the toxic fumes in that coffin. Totally possible. So yeah, not exactly the discovery they were hoping for, but one that definitely left a bad taste. And a lingering smell. 110 ancient tombs. Want to know where you can dig a hole and possibly uncover an ancient treasure? In Egypt, it seems like almost every spot holds the secrets of the past. Take Kum el-Kugan, for example. Just 93 miles northeast of Cairo, archaeologists have uncovered an astonishing 110 tombs, some dating all the way back to the pre-dynastic period, which is between 6000 and 3150 BC. These tombs, with their oval-shaped structure, hold the remains of those laid to rest on their left sides, facing west. Along with the human remains, the site has yielded a treasure trove of artifacts, everything from pottery vessels to intricately inscribed items, along with ancient tools used for rituals and ceremonies. It's fascinating to think about how these tombs, in use for thousands of years, continue to reveal pieces of history long after they were sealed. But here's the real kicker. These people, who were laid to rest with great care, probably never expected to be disturbed. Yet here we are, digging up their final resting places. How much more could we learn from every inch of Egypt's ancient burial grounds? It makes you wonder, what's still buried beneath the sands, waiting to be discovered? Tomb of a goldsmith. In 2017, Egyptologists were buzzing with excitement over the discovery of a tomb that had everyone talking. This wasn't just any tomb. It belonged to a man named Amama, a goldsmith who had lived some 3,500 years ago. What made this find special? Amama dedicated his life to the worship of the ancient Egyptian sun god Amun-Ra. His tomb was unearthed after 5 months of meticulous excavation in the deserts of Luxor, in a region teeming with the tombs of nobles and rulers, not far from the legendary Valley of the Kings. Now, let's be clear. Every year, the desert yields its share of ancient relics. Mummified bodies, broken pottery, and other relics of the past are pulled from the sands all the time. So what made this particular discovery stand out? Sure, it's not on the scale of uncovering a pharaoh's treasure trove, but for Egypt's Ministry of Tourism, it's a win. Since the political unrest in 2011, tourism has taken a hit, and every new find is seen as a step toward reviving interest in the country's ancient wonders. The tomb contained some fascinating artifacts, pottery, funeral masks, and figurines. classic items that would have accompanied the dead on their journey to the afterlife. It may not be the most groundbreaking discovery, but it's a reminder of Egypt's rich history. And it's definitely something to get excited about. Ancient temple ruins. You won't believe what they've just uncovered in Egypt. And trust us, it's not exactly going to shake the foundations of your world. So here it is, a bunch of columns found buried beneath a temple. Yes, columns, not exactly the mind-blowing discovery you'd expect when you think of ancient Egypt, right? But hold on, there's a catch. While this colonnade hall might seem a little underwhelming, it does offer a glimpse into the architectural history of the region, so it's got a bit of significance if you're into that sort of thing. The site where it was found, the Temple of BH, is considered historically important too. But let's be honest, this isn't exactly the next big thing in Egyptian archaeology. Archaeologists discover tunnel. Cleopatra, the legendary queen of ancient Egypt, remains shrouded in mystery, especially when it comes to her final resting place. But could we finally be on the brink of uncovering it? Recent discoveries have archaeologists buzzing with excitement. A massive tunnel carved deep into the bedrock beneath the ancient Taposiris Magna temple near Alexandria. This tunnel, stretching an astonishing 4,800 feet, has sparked speculation that it might lead to the long-lost tomb of Cleopatra and her famed lover, Mark Antony. Those who've glimpsed the structure call it an engineering marvel. At 6 feet tall, it bears a striking resemblance to an ancient tunnel on the Greek island of Samos, hinting at advanced construction techniques for its time. But that's not all. Inside this enigmatic passage, archaeologists have unearthed intriguing treasures, coins bearing Cleopatra's likeness, pottery, and even statues. While the tunnel has yet to reveal its greatest secrets, its potential is captivating. Could this be the final chapter in the story of Cleopatra, Egypt's most iconic ruler? History might just be waiting to break through the rock. Embalming workshop. Ever wondered what goes on behind the scenes of ancient Egypt's most bizarre and graphic ritual? We've all heard the stories about mummification, especially the unforgettable bit with the brain. You know the one. That image is probably burned into your mind forever, right? But hold on tight, because this recent discovery is about to take those memories and give them a whole new layer of intrigue. Archaeologists just uncovered a 2,500-year-old mummification workshop in Saqqara, not far from Cairo's iconic pyramids. And it's not just your typical archaeological find. They've dug up an entire embalming setup, pottery vessels, bowls, measuring cups, basically the ancient Egyptians' version of a DIY mummification kit. But what's even cooler? The discovery is giving scientists a rare chance to analyze the oils and chemicals used in the process. This site is one of the best preserved mummification workshops ever found, and it's giving historians a fresh look at the ancient world's secrets. And there's more. Nearby, researchers also found untouched burial chambers, still holding mummies that haven't been disturbed for centuries. Who knows what else might be hidden there? More revelations are bound to come as we dig deeper into this incredible site. 4,000-year-old tomb. You won't believe what archaeologists have just unearthed at the ancient Egyptian burial ground of Saqqara. This isn't your typical excavation. This time, they found a rock-cut tomb loaded with an incredible stash of artifacts spanning multiple eras. While digging around, they stumbled upon a treasure trove of ancient relics, which is pretty common in Saqqara. After all, it's one of the most significant necropolises in Egypt, just outside Cairo, and has been hiding secrets for centuries. What's so special about this latest discovery? Well, in addition to the usual pottery and inscriptions, there were 2 detailed terracotta statues of the goddess Isis, a statue of the child deity Harpocrates, and a variety of amulets and other items, each one telling a story of ancient Egypt's diverse history. Saqqara has always been a hotspot for finding tombs and treasures because it was used for burials for thousands of years, from the early dynastic period all the way to the Greco-Roman era. The Step Pyramid of Djoser, the oldest of its kind in the world, is one of the most famous landmarks of the site, marking the dawn of pyramid construction in Egypt over 4,600 years ago. So why all these discoveries? Well, Saqqara was the burial ground for the ancient capital of Memphis, with everything from flat-topped mastaba tombs to grand pyramids and underground galleries. Each new find is a peek into the ancient world, with artifacts that help paint a clearer picture of life and death thousands of years ago. Cheese discovered in tomb. Guess what? The oldest cheese ever discovered just happens to be 3,200 years old. And yes, it's as weird as it sounds. This bizarre find came from a tomb belonging to an ancient Egyptian pharaoh. Archaeologists stumbled upon some broken jars, and inside? A strange solidified white mass. At first glance, it looked unappetizing. Okay, maybe downright revolting, but experts thought it could have been food. Why? Because the ancient Egyptians were all about ensuring their loved ones had everything they needed for the afterlife, from everyday tools to, apparently, cheese. It took years before a new study finally cracked the mystery, revealing that this ancient blob was, indeed, cheese. Imagine that, a cheese that's over 3 millennia old, just a bit more aged than your typical brie. Until this discovery, no one knew the Egyptians had even made cheese. But tests showed it was likely made from goat and sheep's milk. Now, while the scientists couldn't quite wrap their heads around what it might have tasted like, they graciously pointed out that, thank goodness, no one dared spread it on a cracker. Teenage mummy with treasure. In 2020, archaeologists uncovered an extraordinary ancient tomb that left everyone in awe. It was the burial site of a teenage girl, believed to be around 15 or 16 when she passed, about 3,600 years ago. Her mummified remains were found inside a coffin carved from a sycamore tree trunk, beautifully painted but still eerie after millennia. What really stunned the experts, though, wasn't just the girl's final resting place, but the incredible treasures buried with her. The young woman was adorned with jewelry, earrings, rings, and necklaces made from ceramic and semi-precious stones. Among her treasures was a scarab amulet, a mysterious fertility doll, 2 mummified cats, and even a pair of red leather sandals. Despite the mummy being in poor condition after all these centuries, the artifacts were surprisingly well preserved, giving archaeologists a rare and thrilling glimpse into the past. It's a discovery that makes you wonder about the story behind this teenage girl and the riches she took with her into the afterlife. So which part of this mind-blowing discovery grabbed your attention the most? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to check out the other cool finds popping up on your screen. I'll see you next time with more ancient mysteries.